day, me and JT have to go borrow 2 eggs for supper because half of our hens are on strike, Mama says. So Lillian sends us to get them from the Rices. A couple days later, Virginia gives us 2 eggs to pay them back, but Mama Rice isn't home, so we head back to the house, and about halfway up the hill, we hear a catbird fussing up in the tree. Well, anytime we hear a bird, we gotta throw something at it. So I pick up a smooth round rock and JT whispers, "Don't do it." "What do you mean? That's a catbird." "Yeah, well, don't waste a rock. Let's nail him with one of these eggs." That sounds real good. I like that a whole lot. And he hands me an egg and I start rolling it around in my hand, and it's about as good a fit for throwing as I've ever felt. It's even better than the rotten tomatoes we throw at Cantrell's roof when we're getting them up for canning. But then I think some more about wasting an egg on a bird and what Mama says. I'm not about to do that. Mama'd have a fit. Shh, Mama'd never have. No. I bet she would. How? You tell her. And I can tell he's trying to con me into it. I've done stuff before, and he's bribed me if I don't do what he wants me to. And I'm not about to be that dumb again. No. Okay, listen. Both of us will throw one. You go first, Billy. You're crazy. I wouldn't go first if I had to die. You gotta go first, because I'm a better shot. And if you happen to miss, I'll nail him with mine, okay? And shucks, he is a better shot than me most of the time, even if he's not better at slingshot. Okay, I'll go first, but you gotta promise to throw yours. You gotta promise. Say promise. Promise. So I look up in the tree for that old catbird, and JT points to him in the fork near the top. Now I can see him clear as day, and I draw back and throw that egg as hard as I can. But I miss him by a mile. So I whisper real quiet, not to spook. "Go ahead," before he flies away. "Go ahead." He gets that stupid look in his eye, whispers kind of slow, "I changed my mind." "No, you didn't. You can't change your mind. You promise you get him with your egg." "I changed my mind. People got a right to change their mind." "But you promised you'd throw yours. You promised." "Yeah, but I'm not crazy. Mom'd kill me if she found out I wasted an egg." Well, I'm so mad I pick up a big clod of dirt and throw it at him. But he runs back up the house and puts his egg in the basket on top of the icebox. And I should have known better. I should have known I'd get in trouble if I believed him. It doesn't take 10 minutes before I have to pay off, when Lillian yells, "JT, Billy, one of you bring me a bucket of water for supper?" And he looks at me all fishy-eyed, and I act like I don't see him. "It's your turn, JT." "I don't think I want to pump water today, so it's your turn all day today. Go get it, or I'm going to tell Mama you threw an egg at a bird when she gets home." I'm so mad, I don't know what to do, but I go ahead and get the water for Lillian, which was a big mistake, because from then on he acts like I'm his slave. I have to do anything he wants me to, like chase the cow when she runs away because we're not watching her, and sometimes he even lets her go on purpose. And when I yell, "It's your turn, darn it," he just whispers, "I ain't got the turn anymore." And I have to go get her. After a couple of weeks, he's done arguing with me. He just says, "Remember the egg." And I go do what he's supposed to be doing, darn it. And before it's time to go back to school, he just says, "Egg." And I bring in the water and the kerosene and anything else he ought to be doing. One day, Mr. Patterson brings everybody ice cream in a Dixie cup, the big size, not just the nickel one. And JT hogs his down in a minute and looks over at me. I'm saving mine and eating real slow around the edges. But I make a mistake and glance over his way. And he points at my ice cream and says with just his lips, and he takes it and eats all my ice cream. And I run down to the barn and cry so Mama won't ask me what's wrong. And when we're ready to go to bed that evening, he says, "It's hot in here." And he's sitting on his side of the bed, and he points to the window on his side and whispers, "Open it," like some king in a stupid moving picture show. I can't stand it. Right now I'm mad as an old wet hen. I really wanted that Dixie cup, and I don't want to be a slave another second. And I yell out loud so even Mama can hear me, "I'm not going to be your slave anymore. You can open the window yourself if you want to open it. You hear me, damn it?" And he brings his mouth, opens his mouth the way he always did, like he's going to say, my stomach starts to hurt. I'm so afraid. And I don't open his window. I don't open it. And he starts toward the kitchen where Mama's canning the tomatoes we picked after dinner. I had to pick most of them. And I yell out, "Go ahead and tell her. I don't care what she does to me. It can't be as bad as you are." And he does. I can't believe he ever would, but he does. He tells Mama I threw the egg at the catbird in the tree. And Mama calls me into the kitchen, and she's sitting down at the table, and she looks hacked and real tired. And she says, "Billy, come here, son. Did you really throw an egg at a catbird in a tree and waste it like JT says you did?" And I can't help crying now. "Yes, Mama." And she says, "Well, son, that surprises me a good deal. I didn't expect that of you. So go get me a switch. I've got to teach you a lesson about wasting good food. There's so many people who don't have enough to eat as it is, and you go wasting food like that." So I go slow as I can and break off a switch from the spirea bush at the end of the driveway where we always get our switches. And when I get back, Mama says, "Son, you know how hard it is for me to make ends meet, and still you wasted a good egg throwing it at a bird. Now I don't understand why you do such a thing. Did you really do that, son?" And I can't help it. I yell out, "Yes, Mama, I did it when we were taking some eggs back to the Rices, and they weren't home. And we heard a catbird in a tree, and JT said, 'Why don't you throw your egg at that catbird?' And I said, 'I wouldn't do that for the world, because you'd tell if I did.' And he said he wouldn't tell. And he said he'd throw his if I threw mine. But he didn't. And then he made me do everything he wanted me to all summer, like I was his slave, and I just can't stand it any longer, Mama." And I tell Mama almost everything else he made me do all summer. And Mama looks sadder than I've ever seen her look before. She picks up my switch off the table. She catches JT by his arm, and she whips the very living daylights out of him.